So you've got to take responsibility. That's the crux of the matter. Now, yes, we know that referees have got discretion in certain areas. Certain things are black and white, but there are certain things that they have discretion. And he chose not to give the right discretion both sides, which is, again, not the right thing to do. But again, the bottom line is, if Declan Rice doesn't kick the ball away, then he doesn't get sent off. So at the end of the day, he's the one responsible for getting him sent off, not the referee.
I have to say, I disagree.
Whose fault is it for kicking the ball away?
I don't see this as a red card. I don't see this as a yellow card. I don't see this as any kind of incident that warranted any more than a firm talking to by the referee. I understand from a playing perspective, you know Declan Rice is on a card. I think what you're doing there is you're trying to egg him on, almost to give just to say to the referee that if something else happens and it involves Declan Rice, well, look at that. You're not thinking he's going to pick up a yellow card for that, and just to say, well, he's kicked the ball away and by the letter of the law, I don't think that does the game any justice. That you referee solely by, well, this is the law, I'm applying it firmly every single time. Common sense has to come into play. Common sense has to prevail here. And for me, if the referee did nothing but speak to both players or speak to both sets of players, I don't think anybody, including everybody who's playing for Brighton, including everybody who's supporting Brighton, has an issue with it. I just thought that this was just cheap, silly, and could have so easily been dealt with differently.
Can I just say, I don't disagree with what you're saying. My point is that without Declan Rice kicking the ball away...
I get it. Declan Rice... let me ask this. Let me ask this.
Told to make...
Let me ask this.
The players know that the referee's going to do that when that situation arises.
Let me ask this, and to Arteta's gaslighting. Arteta's gaslighting. If Declan Rice doesn't flick the ball away slightly as he does, and just continues or just stands as the ball hits the heel, and the Brighton player, I can't remember who it is, comes and kicks into him as he does anybody see that as a red card? No, I don't. I don't think the referee should send him off. But to Arteta's...
He's facing the wrong way.
Yes. My point is, the Brighton player comes and kicks Declan Rice across... Well, catches him just below the knee, right? Albeit with his shin, part of his leg. By the letter of the law, you kick somebody below the knee, that's a red card. But if the referee does nothing about it, as he did, nobody has a problem with it. I just don't see it as being anything at all egregious, anything at all, even warranting a yellow card.
Nadem?
Yeah, I'm more on Stevie's side with this, to be honest, because the way that I perceive it is that in this moment, like in the game, Declan Rice is on a yellow card. I think it's fair to say that from when you are on a yellow card, even though you can try and play exactly the way that you did before, you have to make slight adjustments. And I think one of those adjustments would be to get away from that position, because Veltman's ended up kicking him, because Veltman was trying to kick the ball in to get him yellow carded anyway. So that's the gamesmanship by Veltman from that standpoint. And I think for Rice to even be in that position, I just think he switched off. And I understand the arguments about inconsistency and so on, but I think it was last year where the rule was like hardened, like if you kick the ball away, you will get booked. That's why Arsenal was so outraged by the João Pedro one in the first half. I think years ago, you'd be like, oh, come on, ref, you need to book him. But again, the incident doesn't need to happen. Declan Rice is a good enough and smart enough player to not be in that situation full stop. And again, it's because he's on a yellow card. And I think because it led to a red, that's the big conversation. But I think by itself, it would be a yellow, just I think pretty much every day of the week, because he's allowing himself to be judged by the referee in a way which he did not need to at all. And I think from my side, again, when the argument from the Arsenal perspective is about consistency, I think it's sort of deflecting away from the fact that the decision-making in that moment from somebody very experienced was incorrect.